Okay, go ahead and get started.
Hello everyone, I'm Misha.
And I'm Hafsa, and we both go to Niles North High School, and today we'll be leading a LinkedIn workshop just to teach you the basics of LinkedIn, what LinkedIn is, and the opportunities it has to offer.
Yeah. And we were also the PLA interns for the summer, if
Yeah.
you guys recognize us. So first we have a video by LinkedIn's creators on how LinkedIn came to be and like the story behind LinkedIn, and we thought it was really inspirational and to include it. So I hope the audio works.
I was always the only Black woman in many of the spaces that I occupied. And so I wanted to create a company in which we add women of color to the career conversation. So I started to kind of use LinkedIn as a testing ground.
Sustainability is something that we've been talking about for decades. After I left my private chef life, I started to post and it just went bananas after that.
When I see my children, I'm reminded of myself at their age. When I became a teacher, I started creating content on LinkedIn. Really just started documenting my journey about learning and education, and people started listening.
I didn't think I was tech savvy. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to be able to do this by myself?
Being older and not being a digital native, I could just shoot something and with my phone, I post it right into LinkedIn.
Instead of writing the thought out, I would put it in video form.
So I want to know, why did you choose the format of schooling that you chose? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you on the other side.
LinkedIn made it really user-friendly, and I realized that there was a special connectivity around videos. It just started to create this multicultural dialogue.
Hey girl, hey. Hey, I'm so excited to be here.
It is such an authentic community. I don't call them followers at all.
And I'm celebrating yet another milestone, 7,000 people in my community.
And I'll never forget, I posted, and there was like 10,000 people that viewed the video, and I had never had 10,000 views on anything. And so I was like, whoa, this platform is powerful.
My inbox on LinkedIn is on fire. I love that my show is a place where a lot of people feel welcomed.
I would have not found my voice without every single one of those people.
Some of the more important professional relationships I have now, and even personal ones, have come from LinkedIn first.
My community was on LinkedIn. They just needed to know I was there.
So like with my thumbs, I can do all of it.
You want to be known for something, this is the place to be.
I'm Chef Rochelle Boucher, and I'm a creator on LinkedIn.
My name is Minda Hartz, and I'm a creator on LinkedIn.
I'm Mike Yates, and I'm a creator on LinkedIn.
So that was a short video on just like people who have used LinkedIn and like the creators behind it. So what is LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is a site where you can network with other connections and people and just like check in with them, as well as build your own resume and display what you have done in the past, as well as like build your resume, as well as also job search for opportunities that are local to you, or like your connections might be like presenting, promoting, and then obviously checking in with your connections and like making sure like your network stays to be its strongest. Like just checking in with people is like so important, especially like in a world where everything is like digitalized and everything, like you can find a job basically at your fingertips.
Yeah, so basically what she means by connections is basically like the mutual kind of following that you have with people on LinkedIn, and those are like the people that if you ever need something business related or anything like that, you could reach out to them and they'd be able to help you. And then again, on LinkedIn, you're going to create a personalized profile. So this is one of the first things that you're going to do when you make an account. Of course, have a professional photo, something appropriate. What I like to do for my professional pictures, or at least, is make sure your shoulders can be seen, obviously your face, and then it's nice if you have like one color backdrop if possible. And then you can have a background photo if wanted. I personally don't have one because I haven't had anything to put there yet. But a lot of people put like their team pictures or a picture of something big that they've accomplished. You're gonna have your name and your current position. If you're not working, the thing that LinkedIn automatically does is put like the year and the school that you're going to. And then you'll have a small about section where you can just give like who you are. So it could be as simple as my name is Hafsa Feroz. I'm a junior at Nazareth High School. And then as time goes on, you can elaborate to it and say and talk about your interests and the kind of skills that you have.
And what's so amazing about like LinkedIn's like profile section is that you're always changing it. You're always like adding new things to it, deleting things, and like it's always editable, and like that's amazing. That's like what a resume does, because you're eventually like growing and developing into a person with new experiences and connections. So here's what our profiles look like at a standard basis. So I have a picture from my senior pictures. Like we just got a picture and it like perfectly shows like my shoulders and my face. So I just decided to use it. And then for my background picture, I used my DM picture because it was something that I was very proud of, and something like it was a fundraising project which I mentioned in my experiences. And then, so I'm unemployed, so I just wrote collective member with Chicago Days of Youth Rising because I volunteer and I don't have like a position, but you can also write like student or anything that you would like.
And then of course, for mine, my name, my pronouns, and then I'm currently a barista at Complimentary Cafe. So since I put that in on my LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn is set up to put your current position if wanted in your bio, and I just opted for it and I put it in there so that people could easily find me. And then I'm part of the Youth Climate Action Team, which I'm currently resided in. I'm currently have a volunteer position with them as well as the Skokie Public Library. And then of course the school I go to, where I'm located, and then the number of followers and connections I have. So again, connections are the people that you have a mutual followingship with, I guess.
And you can also like hide your location, because I know some people do not prefer that. Some people use like Illinois or just we just put our cities because like why not? Like we just connect with people that went to our schools, but I know some people don't like to do that, so it's also very customizable.
It helps if your school is in your bio, because if people will see like, okay, Niles North High School class of 2022, 2020, whatever, it'll just be easier for them to connect with you because it kind of gives them like a foundation to get to know you off of.
So customizing your profile, which is like the most important and like the main star of LinkedIn, it's like gonna be your about section, your activity, your experience, your honors, education, volunteering, languages, interests, skills, licenses, and certifications. And these are all the categories that LinkedIn will give you when you're creating your profile. You can always leave things empty, because I remember when I was like 16 and I started my LinkedIn, I like did not have anything, but then I gradually like added on to it. And we're going to talk a little bit more deeper about all of these topics.
So your about page. So just write about who you are, and essentially, so like what your employment status is. Obviously mine was in my bio because that's just, I thought it would be easier for people to recognize who I was, what major career you were looking for. So this also helps when you're networking, because when you first like DM or private message someone on LinkedIn and you're like, I'm interested in the computer science field, if they go to your page and you include what kind of careers you're interested in and what kind of opportunities you are looking for, it'll be easier for them to like kind of help you. And then highlights of your current job or internship. So after you put in an achievement or something you've accomplished, so I volunteered for Bushra Amiwala's District 73.5 school board campaign. So under that, I would write a little excerpt about what I did, what I got out of this, and how this has impacted me as a person. You can also put portfolio links. So if you're like an art major or something like that, you can include your art pieces that people can take a look at them, and then highlights of your accomplishments. So basically anything that you're proud of, you can post on LinkedIn.
And this is just like a 5-second page, I guess, of like who you are and what you, I guess, represent as. If you're looking for a specific career field, then you would want to highlight like that career field in your bio. And we have some examples as well. So we have 2 completely different examples. One of them is like a communications one, where she like makes her own social media managing stuff, and then she also became like a founder of like a podcast. And she highlights like her background in like women, like her importance of bringing positivity to women in color and passionate young people. And like it all is very concise because it's like communications media in Spanish, but it also brings in like her entrepreneurial side, and then also like her little like study abroad opportunities, which is like really important because it's very unique to her. And then the second example is very short, but it also like it's a 2-second pitch of like who he is as a person, and he was able to get a job with that exact bio. So anything works for your bio.
It's as much as you want to put of yourself
Mhm.
out there. Like if there's a certain experience that you are super proud of course, put that in your bio, tell people about it. And then that'll also give them a better sense of who you are as a person. So obviously it's like any other social media page, except it's more business casually, but obviously put as much as you want as you feel comfortable with sharing with other people.
So your activity section, this activity section is going to be very reoccurring, and like it's going to show up on people's feeds who you connect with, and it'll also show up on your own feed if people decide to like click into your profile and click the activity section. And it basically shows your own post and what you post. It's kind of like Instagram where you like post something and you have a little bio and then you like show it off. But this is like more like project based and portfolios or research, and you can also thank a company or person for like giving you a position. You can also introduce a new position or a new opportunity. Like I've seen this senator in our area posted about a job, about an internship opportunity for students, and I was able to connect with the senator as well as like find information on how the internship, like how do you apply for the internship. And usually big companies will do that and we'll go on with it, but this is some of our examples.
Another thing is on LinkedIn, people will be able to directly see what you liked. So you see, I like that code red picture because it was from the Youth Climate Action Team and I wanted to support. Well, people will see on my page that Hafsa Feroz like this, like, why don't you take a look? So it'll kind of like broaden your sphere as well as whoever's pictures you liked.
And I just put a project that I do over the summer because I thought it was very important to like my personality or like my portfolio as a person. So I did like a love bridge project with Indo-American Center, and so I tagged Indo-American Center so that way all the people who are following Indo-American Center can also like be in touch with me in sort of a way. And that's really important, using hashtags and like ads and all of that. Just like Instagram, you just use hashtags and ads to like
To
reach a
broaden
certain-
your
yeah.
exposure,
Yeah.
reach more people. Okay, and then you're gonna talk, so obviously it's your LinkedIn profile, you're gonna talk about yourself. You're gonna include your experience, your honors, how much education you have, whether that may be high school or college or beyond, volunteering opportunities, languages, interest, skills, any licenses or certificate or actual certifications that you may have. LinkedIn actually has quizzes that you can take. So I am versed in Adobe. I've used Adobe Illustrator a couple of times. So I took like the Adobe Illustrator quiz and they asked me questions about the software. So it's verified that I actually know how to use it. I think that's a feature that a lot of people like about LinkedIn because there's no way you can play it off. It's either you know how to use it. It's either that you have the skill or not. Another thing that people can do on your page is if I say my skill is like leadership, project management, something like that, and people scroll onto my page, they can actually endorse that I am actually good at that skill. This is completely random. It's just based on if people actually believe that you are a good leader or good at project management.
Yeah, and then eventually if you get to like a high-end position, they can also submit recommendations for you. Like we don't have that yet because we're not employed in the real world, but I've seen like although adults and other like professionals have like recommendations from their old job experiences or volunteer experiences, and it just adds more to your profile. And yeah, it's also very personalizable, and like you can delete something that it's not relevant to you if you want to.
And then this is something that we actually picked. This is some resume writing that we actually picked up while we were our PLA interns. So I screenshotted this to save for the future. So this is a resume tip, writing accomplishment statements. So basically this is actually how I do my resumes and how I got the job I have right now at the cafe. So I did, what did you do? How did you do it? And why did you do it? So something about resumes is try to keep it concise, at least to a page or two if needed. So it's actually proven that the person who's hiring you, your employer, will not look at your resume for over a minute. It's a minute or less. So obviously keep it concise and having really good action verbs like you observed, you persevered, you motivated. Action verbs like that will help them will really like elaborate on how great the experience was for you. Personally, there, if we go on the next slide. Just click. Sorry.
Back.
So I asked, you guys will get a copy of this presentation. So this is basically the Harvard cover and resume letters. This is what I used and what my siblings have, who are both accountants, have used to get the jobs that they have right now. So obviously this long list of action verbs, just these have higher statistics of letting you get the job. Obviously, use the ones that best suit you, like you motivated your teammates to go to do whatever. Just, yeah. And then sample resumes. So personally, I like this kind of resume sample a lot more than the ones where people have their pictures on them and they're in pretty colors. I know she likes the ones where they're all colorful and stuff, but I like this one just so it's I feel like this one is easier personally for my employers to read. So it kind of gives you a breakdown of what the structure of your resume should look like. Obviously, you don't have to follow this, more creativity to you, but this, if this is your first time creating a resume, I highly recommend getting it all down in this format and then customizing it based on that.
Yeah, and there's so much more to this link as well. If you want to read the in-depth through
It's a
it,
bit long.
it's very long, but it's very useful and it's like very skimmable. So you could, even if you don't have like a lot of time, you can just skim through it. And a lot of schools advocate for this link as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, it'll give you the do's and don'ts as to what to put on your resume. Like obviously, like what kind of personal information should be on there. What's the best way to keep it organized, stuff like that.
And like LinkedIn has an opportunity where you can put it in your featured. So it's kind of like your activity section, but it's like a featured and you can put your resume in. I'll plug mine because I have it on my feed. But you can, so like people who look at your feed can automatically look at your resume and it's just there. It's like in big
Yeah.
letters, and they can download it and zoom in, whatever. So this next step is actually job searching and networking with companies that you might have interest with. I'm using the Chicago Bulls because it's like one of the most popular job search opportunities, I guess. But this is a page it'll show you when you try to follow like the company. So right now I'm following the Chicago Bulls and I have a connection who works there as well, and it shows like how many employees are there. But if you use this bar with the yellow, it'll show the homepage, it'll show the about page, the post they have done, like the activity we were talking about, the jobs that are currently open, which is really, really important, and then the people that work there and the videos. I specifically love the jobs and people because if there's a job opening that I really, really want, I'll like go into the people section and I'll look at like any emails that are this sounds stalker, and I promise I'm not stalking people, but it'll show like the people within that organization who are hiring people, and you can personally email them your resume, and it just shows initiative that you're actually wanting the job rather than just signing up on a LinkedIn, because like then you're able to personally like connect with them, and it just shows initiative, and like a lot of companies want initiative and motivated workers. And then if you follow it / connect with them, if it's a person, it'll show connect, but if it's a company, it'll show follow. Their information, like their videos and their activity and stuff, will show up on your feed, just like an Instagram feed. And just like that, like more jobs will be shown, more of like their company motives will be shown. And
even if there isn't like a current job opening, I highly recommend, like if there's a company or like a position that you're really interested in, just reach out. It never hurts. And usually people on LinkedIn are usually just excited that you're able to reach out, and they're excited that you've come this far and taken the time to write out whatever you have written. So just, it's not going to hurt anybody. They'll appreciate it. They'll appreciate your interest in their job and where they work. So it's definitely worth a shot.
This is what it looks like when you're connecting with a person. So Bushra Miwala has come to the School Public Library before to talk to TLC, I believe. And so Bushra was also in DECA, so it shows up like our like highlights, which is like what we have similar in. And then it also shows that she's leading like another like festival conference kind of thing. So I can attend the actual event if I want to message her and like attend the event. And then if I scroll down, it'll show more of like her experiences, which I don't need right now, but it'll show like the connection she has and just like what we have in common.
And then on the right-hand side, you'll see the little Google symbol. So she's currently a sales associate at Google, and her education as of now is DePaul University. So that'll kind of show up on the right side. And then, yeah, and then your bio and all that.
Oh, so this is another secret hack that not many people know about LinkedIn. So there's actually like a jobs tab on the top corner where you can where LinkedIn recommends jobs for you based on like your age, because you have to be 16 and older to apply, like get a LinkedIn account, and you put in your birthday and stuff when you're like logging in. So it'll like recommend you jobs based on your birthday and like your status, like a high school student. So like right now it recommended me a few jobs that like my connections are currently there, which is like an Amazon drop intern thing. And then these are the tests we were talking about, like the skill assessment test and interview prep. Like LinkedIn specifically has like this test where you can take the test, but then it'll show all the skills that you mastered in on your LinkedIn page. And then as people are seeing your page, they can endorse you. And then same thing, if you're too scared to build your own resume, you can also go in with LinkedIn's resume builder, and it does an amazing job of making a PDF where you can just directly email it to anybody or put it on your feed.
And then another thing of the skills tab, it'll just show that you're certified in whatever you took the skills test on. So it kind of bumps up your resume, and it just makes it for sure that you actually have that skill indeed. Another thing about the recommended for you jobs, personally, I follow a lot of companies like Apple, Microsoft stuff, Amazon, stuff like that. So I'll get job recommendations from like those kind of companies as well. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Thank you for your time. Any questions? I'll just unshare screen. Oh,
You figured it out. You're good.
Thank you so much, Misha and Hafsa. Any questions from the crowd?
No, but thank you. Very informative.
Awesome.
I have a question. Have you guys used premium at all? And what are the advantages to using premium, if there are any?
I don't think either of us have used premium, but I've seen the premium tab on a lot of people's like LinkedIn pages, and I think it just gives you more insight on who's viewing your profile. So like we get the basic, like I think it's like 5 people viewed your profile, and then it shows like the 5 people. But if you have premium, it shows like everyone who's ever viewed your profile. And I think people use that as like a way of like who's like stalking you kind of way, like which companies are like looking at you and they want you kind of thing, which I don't think is like really important for us right now. So it's like we're holding off.
It's also premium also gives you like the advantage of looking at what kind of like what people have been searching up to get to find your account. So like if they searched up Google and you worked at Google, you were probably like the 5th employee on the list who they clicked on or stuff like that. So those kind of like stats, which I understand why people would appreciate, because if a lot of people have been looking at your at your LinkedIn page recently and you're interested as to like why they are, obviously like Misha said, companies could be interested in you, and like that would be a great offer.
I have a question for you. So I didn't realize that high schoolers were using LinkedIn very much. So I'm just curious, like what led to you making a LinkedIn account, both of you deciding to be active on it? Actually, like just from this presentation, I realized LinkedIn has come a long way from when I got on LinkedIn probably 10 years ago. It's a different landscape now, but yeah, what kind of prompted you to get started? How did you hone your skills for presenting yourself on that platform?
So I took a business class, and the first thing they taught me was like, you have to have a LinkedIn profile. it's just a great way to document the stuff you've accomplished, to keep track of it, and as well as just get like a step into the business world, because everyone is going to need that kind of skill set in the future. You're going to need to know how to network, and you're going to need to know how to build a foundation for whichever career you're going to go in. So that's what I kind of looked at it as. What about you?
Similarly, I wasn't in like the same business classes, so I didn't really know what LinkedIn was. So I was like, let me try it. It doesn't hurt to try, and I can always delete my account if something goes wrong, anything like that. But then I really liked how you can like job search, and I was like looking for a job, like an internship for the summer, just why not? And I was just able to browse through like what people have done, and like it really helped me become like it really helped me find my career too, like what I want to major in and stuff. And it still helps me to this day with like what I want to major in, what opportunities there are at like my college, and like all of that.
I made the LinkedIn because my teacher made it an assignment. The reason I stayed was because of the features that I had to offer. Like I enjoyed seeing like like the people who have graduated. I like seeing like what they've accomplished. Like, okay, so you're a sales associate. I keep using that example, but like I reached out to Bushra and I was like, so you're a sales associate at Google. Like, what did you study? How did you know that was right for you? Stuff like that. Because obviously there's so many careers out there, and this kind of like helps me narrow down what I'm interested in. Also like the internship job opportunities and any kind of educational opportunities that I've seen like other people in my community like become a part of, I would also like to be a part of. So I was interested in computer science. So I just simply typed that in. I got a couple of Google searches, and then one of them led me to a LinkedIn page. And then one of that girl was a Girls Who Code teacher. So I asked her, how can I get involved in this? How can I learn more about this? And so she kind of redirected me into how to get registered. So it comes back.
Yeah, and
It gives back.
Miss Attic, our like business teacher, she keeps like she follows us on LinkedIn, and so when we graduate, we're able to like show like once we have like a career set and like we have jobs and stuff, where she's able to contact us to come back to our career fairs, and like it's an amazing opportunity just like to come back and talk to your high school about like what you did after high school, and I thought it was really cool, so I really wanted to like stay in touch with the teachers too, not only just connections.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. It's funny it started out as a homework assignment, but then you're like, actually, I will stick around. Really cool. Now I feel like my LinkedIn profile is probably embarrassing and I need to update it.
Do you know if they made it so that if you like, so one thing that used to be true of LinkedIn, but I don't think is necessarily true anymore, is that when you like signed in or like created an account, it would email, like, I mean, you obviously had to give it permission to, but it would like email everybody that you had ever emailed and be like, do you want to connect on LinkedIn? And I can't tell you how many times I had to be like, no, I don't want to connect with you, random person on LinkedIn. But it seems like that has been solved to some extent. So can you say anything about the experience of like finding the people that you want to connect with?
So privacy is like huge on LinkedIn because I feel like it's a really big range. Like it's like 16-year-olds to like fully employed, like retired people. So I think that so one like experience I've had is like you can private yourself, so like no one, like if you search someone up, then they're not able to see that you searched them up. Some people like that, some people don't, so I know that's the issue. And then the email thing I'm not aware of, but I know that if I go in my like profile, I can see like, so it'll say Niles North High School, it'll say like this person went to Niles North High School, would you like to connect with them? And like it'll bring me to like multiple people, but it's not like a forceful thing. It just shows up as like recommended for you.
I mean, I hope not random people aren't getting emailed to connect with me on LinkedIn. But yeah, it's originally just, I use it to stay in touch with the people who have graduated and to stay in touch with the class that I'm currently in. Just because like these are I feel like those 4 years kind of shape you into like what college freshman you is gonna like experience in a way. Yeah. So like, it's just something like if I ever need like help in a certain field, I can just DM someone that I knew on LinkedIn and they'd be happy to help.
Is there like a certain like age requirement for to like sign up?
It's 16
16
and
and up.
plus, I believe.
Yeah, 16 and
Okay.
up. So you can put in your real birthday as long as you're 16.
What would you recommend for somebody who's under 16 but wants to well position themselves for a really good LinkedIn profile when the time comes? How would you recommend that they get started?
Well, you don't need a LinkedIn account to look at LinkedIn profiles, which is one of the big pluses. So you could, if you are interested in a certain field, feel free to search that up on LinkedIn and you'll find people in your community who may have been in similar programs. If you are not of age to make an account, you could obviously, usually people have like a really great description of what they were a part of. And if you click on that, they'll include the organization that they worked with, how they got that opportunity, stuff like that.
Yeah, I recommend like making a resume. So I had like 2 resumes. I had like a high school resume where I put like all my like my activities and honors that I put into my Common App. So that was like my high school resume if I was reaching out to like a high school based internship. But then after college, I know that I won't be using like all of those experiences from high school, and I'll probably make it concise and I'll put it under my education tab that like I did all of these clubs at Niles North High School. So I recommend like, since you're in high school, if you're in high school and you're underage, then make like a high school resume, and like that's a really good starter because then it really prepares you for like talking about like promoting what you did in high school is amazing at preparing you for what you're gonna do at future jobs too, like the classes at like the Harvard like verbs and all of that. Would you like us to show our LinkedIn? We're okay. We're happy with that
Do you
too.
want to screen share?
I can screen share too.
That would be awesome.
Mine is currently under construction because it does
Mine
need to
is
be
still-
updated.
mine is
It's
still
it's something that like as
Mine
you
too.
person and you accomplish more, you'll want to put it in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't put in my college yet because it's like it has to be something present. It can't be like future, but it's my featured section and then my activities. So this is like what I've liked, but then if I go to articles or posts, I can see like what I've done. So I was like interviewed for the Chicago Tribune thing. I thought it was cool, so I put it in. For the same thing with Indo American Center. Me and my friend like painted the fridge, and then same thing with Niles main library, like right there. I'm with my cousin, and then the Teach Act, which was I was like volunteering for activities. So it was like really fun to like. It's really fun to post your projects, and then people comment usually. Like I'm not big on LinkedIn. That's why people are like, I'm not really like a commenting person, but like people usually comment like congratulations and stuff like that.
I love that you're in the American Library Association group. That's awesome.
Oh no. Oops. And then experience, Skokie Public.
Library Association.
As I said, like a high school resume, I put this under so I can say like what I did in high school. Oops. Yeah, see if you click on like Niles North, it just shows you
It
everyone.
just shows all the people that you follow who go to Niles North.
Yeah, same thing with the Skokie Public Library because it's like certified. It shows
The page,
the connections,
the people,
the
jobs.
people. Yeah, demographics too.
Ooh.
And then more just like honors, volunteering, the skills
the
people
endorsing.
endorsing.
So who can endorse someone for a skill?
Anyone.
Anyone.
Interesting.
You can post like links to your projects too. So this was like a incubated project I did through my like business class. I put this entire project in. I'll see what you guys sure.
Mine's not that good. It's where I'm trying to spiff it up.
It's good.
I don't post that often, which I'm working on. So I just changed my bio a little bit. Obviously, Youth Climate Action Team. Then if you scroll down, obviously I haven't added what I've gained from each experience yet, which I should do as soon as possible, because that kind of shows like how I became the person I became through these experiences. So I'm currently volunteering with the Youth Climate Action Team as the logistics project lead. And it also shows how long I've been there, where it's located, stuff like that. Skokie Public Library, I was a Public Library Association intern. And then I've also been volunteering there, obviously, and then the summer comes around, I'll be back for more. I was a Girls Who Code alumni. I was a political intern for Nashr Muhammad's District 74 School Board campaign, and I was a community volunteer for Bushra Amiwala's District 73.5 Board of Education campaign. So kind of like throughout the years, you can see as I was really interested in politics, and then I expanded into computer science, and then I took up more volunteering because that's what I was interested in. And then obviously my education, this also needs to be more organized. Yeah, I'm in 11th grade, I'm no longer in 10th grade. And then obviously if Misha wants, she could
Oh yeah,
endorse
I should
me.
endorse you right now. I should endorse you right
Yeah,
now.
you just put like which skills that you think you're good at, and then people will
Nice.
take the time to
I'm gonna
endorse.
endorse you for stuff once I clean out my LinkedIn. It's cool though, because you can see really what the timeline does is tells the story of how your interests have been. Thank you, Ben, for coming. The journey that you've taken, the journey of your interest and your learning. That's really cool.
One thing I do want to say is, yeah, me and Misha and Decca together. So she's kind of showing it up right now. But yeah, you can also see like my interests, the kind of stuff I follow, the kind of languages I'm fluent in. So it's kind of like a living resume in a way, but obviously I prefer like the old block to block kind of resume that you saw earlier. One thing that I want to tell people who like, I don't know if you guys are on LinkedIn yet, but one thing that scared me away at first was I was like, people have accomplished so much and I haven't done anything yet.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. You're gonna feel like that, but it's also something that I kind of told myself is like, everyone is working at their own pace. The people who have accomplished this much obviously are growing at a different like length that I'm gonna get to where I am, and the things like you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
gonna happen when it happens.
It's at your own pace.
And it's also just reaching out to the opportunities you didn't have before. This shouldn't make you feel stressed. This should make you feel excited for all the opportunities that LinkedIn can offer.
I love that. That's so awesome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome hits you a lot when you're like applying to colleges too. It's like different stages of high school. You'll feel like different things and like.
I feel like we need to have a whole program about that because it's so real.
Yeah.
And especially for people who have been in school, in high school or even middle school during COVID, I think a lot of people feel like they've missed out on opportunities. So they might feel insecure about, their accomplishments to this point. But I think something that seems to me to be really useful about LinkedIn is the opportunity to demonstrate some reflections about your experiences. So I know, Hafsa, that's something that you said you wanted to add. I'm going to add it too. I really am. I'm going to spiff up my LinkedIn.
I feel like it also gives more information about what it is you did, because I can say I'm a PLA intern, but what did I take away from that experience? And like, how did that guide me to where I am now?
This is the LinkedIn learning thing we were talking about. It's like the videos and the classes they offer.
Right. Which actually, the library has access to LinkedIn Learning, which is a subscription-based service, if I remember correctly. But with your Skokie Public Library card, you can actually use LinkedIn Learning for free.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I did
It's
not
good to
know that.
know.
It's
It's
so
good to
useful.
know.
Yeah.
Library has so many subscriptions. Like you could literally just Google it and you'd find something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it says like Niles North High School. These are all people that we went to high school with or like graduated. People you may know. That's the creepy thing. It's like they'll just show up.
You know that
but-
all of them went to your school.
Yeah.
Like here they are. But yeah, definitely people. It's just honestly a social media platform that is business professional to keep in touch with the people that you have made connections with and will continue to make connections with.
Fantastic. All right, this has been really awesome. I'm really glad that we recorded this too. So we'll be able to share it with other people. Are there any last questions while we still have Misha and Hafsa? We have time if you have a question to ask.
We can also drop our emails if you need.
That would be awesome if you feel comfortable with that. And folks can also feel totally free to reach out to Rachel and I. But I can attest that Misha and Hafsa are both so nice, really helpful, and obviously have so much experience to share. So they'd be great people to reach out to.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.